Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Steel Division 2. It's episode number 28. After some tactical moves throughout the last episode, I expect that we are in for some battles here in the next little bit. For one thing, the Germans have quite a few units now caught behind enemy lines, and you figure they're going to try and break out of that and not just get into a situation where they just simply accept surrender. But also other areas where we nearly have them cut off. Expect some sort of attempt at a counterattack on that. So, likewise, there's a few areas where I'm making gains that they might feel a counterattack is going to be a strong possibility to stop that progress. So there's quite a few options for the Germans. Meanwhile, though, I have continued to move tactically and avoid direct battles because I'm finding enough space to envelop and cut off their units, and then eventually they run out of supply, they become routed, and then I can attack and force surrender instead of actually have to battle, which is keeping my units at full strength, and it's requiring very few units to then mop up and capture those units. So our targets here, you can see how close we're getting already, and then Minsk, and we've got a whole corps from a whole regiment from the 3rd Guard Cavalry Corps that's been called up, and actually it's the last one besides this reserve group. So we're just about out of units that we can call up to here, and then that puts us back to here. But still, we continue to make tons of progress. I have a few units that do have action points left, and for the most part, it's intentional as they'll serve as reserve. In case a unit is attacked, they can be called upon to join the battle. Speaking of, let's go ahead and end the evening, June 29th. This will put us into June 30th. We still have time, and at this point, plenty of time to make our targets within the allotted time, but it depends on how much resistance we face, over these final stretches of road into our goals, our objectives. But let's go ahead and continue on to the morning and give the Germans a chance to make their attempt at a counter. So at least one unit is now, 3 units are routed, and there it is, the expected attack has come, and boy, didn't I say, I did not save. Okay, this is exactly where I expected it to come. I did put a fighter in the air here. We are dug in. So we are dug in. That's going to be a big advantage. We've got a fighter in the air, so they're not going to have air support. But the only support that I'm going to be able to provide is a bomber regiment. If you will let me click. Come on. There it is. All right. So I do have support from a bomber regiment, but I am dug in. I don't know who they're going to attack with, but we've got a heavy panzer battalion. We've got an anti-aircraft battery and an artillery battalion. So for them, it would be very wise. Those are all available immediately. That artillery battalion and the panzers actually really will have the strength to take out this motorized battalion. So strength-wise, they are certainly capable of taking out bunkers. And Regiment Group 101 in reserve. There's a lot of firepower in here for the Germans, so I would not be surprised at all if I lose this battle. However, as long as I'm able to inflict a decent amount of damage, I'm not going to worry about it too much because our progress towards Borisov and ultimately Minsk is coming along this part of the front where we've been encircling them. It would be nice to hold these guys in and complete the encirclement, which we had momentarily, but they were able to escape out of it and reconnect. But despite that, I mean, this is heavy, heavy German firepower. And just the fact that we've forced them out of their dug-in positions, and we have ultimately been able to get behind them, and I only have one unit in risk here. And these guys have been encircled, and you can see routed. I'm going to be sweeping those units up here in the turn. I'm okay if we lose this and they do successfully break out, as long as I can continue putting pressure on and keeping their area thin. They're not going to be able to progress much. So I think, even if I lose, they are not going to be suddenly pushing into Borisov, but it does appear that they have called on some reserves. So that's kind of the danger of this point. But at the same time, I don't necessarily mind that they're calling on their reserves in Borisov and trying to stop this advance. The objective is Minsk. The objective is Molodezno. So I'm well on my way to those objectives. And if they're wasting their reserve points here in Borisov and trying to hold this front, that is okay by me, because you can see just how close we are to cutting off the road to Minsk, and just putting pressure into this area is enough for me. But no more delays. Let's go ahead and get into the battle. Again, I think we're facing a definite disadvantage. You could see they called in... Oi, what's going on? Okay, so they're trying to call in a bomber. I did click on tactical battle. I did. Okay, so aircraft defender. We have the fighters in the air. They are sending bombers in. That's what this is about. So we took minor losses. They took much bigger losses. And player control, thank you. This is not a full strength unit. So this is a unit that has already engaged in battle. That's going to make this a little more challenging. And this is going to be the first time I've had a defensive battle while dug in. So it'll be interesting on how this deployment works, as I have not used that mechanic yet as a defender. You can see just how much space is available to us. And taking a look at the terrain, this is not the most defensible of terrain at all. There's no high ground. There's towns, there's woods. But yeah, this terrain is actually just garbage. At 40 points, I think I'm planning on using all of it on the motorized battalion to take up defensive positions as best as possible. And then we'll start calling on the bombers as reserve with that second tier. So, what do we have? We have some mortars. We have some flamethrowers if they get close into the woods. Armored recon. Okay, recon squads. They cost 2 points each, unfortunately. Again, recon squads. These are going to be the on-foot kind. These are also... No. Okay, none of them are on foot. Oh, we do have some medium tanks. That's something. Well, let's start with these guys. No, I want you dug in. Oh, please. We're not going to be able to dig in at all, are we? because they're all mounted. These guys can dig in. And that's going to be about it. Oh, the flamethrower. No, not even the flamethrowers. They're attached to a vehicle as well. And this is a vehicle. It's a motorized scout battalion. It is not meant for being dug in, even though it did let me dig in. So what am I supposed to do with that? I am unsure. Now I can stick you here. Let's just see what happens with this unit. What can I do? No, see, I can't even dig in. This is overall. Oh, hey, look at that. Need to use that one more often. There you go. Much better line of sight there. But I can't unload them now, so this sucks. This really sucks. This is not what I had hoped for at all. Okay, I'll put you on the edge. I think we really need to just kind of occupy the space up here. So we'll have to move forward with these guys. Take a few of them. We can push into that town. So it looks like we're just going to have to try to take and hold whatever we can possibly take and hold, because there's no digging in. Send a couple here. Put you up into these woods, I suppose. 1, 2, 3 up there. And we could send one into town, and then a few beyond. And put one more up here. So we're just gonna load up whatever whatever we can, and then I suppose a few tanks certainly won't hurt. What is your range? 2,000 meters. You're determined that this is about 1,000 here. Which means from here, they can definitely see out over this area. So we'll get one there. They can help cover that terrain. Let's see, you don't fit in there. We want you to hang back and look out over the river. I don't like being out in the open like that. But he should have the range to see out there. There's enough of them. We can risk one, I suppose. From here you can at least see through here and through that gap. Okay, just 2 points left. Go for armored recon. Or these mortars. Probably the mortars. A couple of flamethrowers that, well, they cost 2 points. Oh, we could still call one more tank. Or bombers, they're 8 points. No, not yet. Let's go with the mortars. Get a few of them put out. where to put them though. Oh, I think one here would be a good idea. Right, we could put it right here in these woods. And then they can see out a ways. Maybe one here. That gives me the firepower in this area. And that'll support the tank. Meaning we could hopefully hold the middle fairly well. One here. And the last 2 points on a flamethrower, which means I need to go in the woods, close range. Maybe up into this area. Right up here somewhere. Alright. That's it. Now we've got a nice advanced line and we're looking to push it further forward. But that does mean we're going to come under a quick contact. But maybe we can hold out. What did they end up bringing? The Heavy Panzer Battalion and an AA battery. So it's only 2 units. I like that. It would free up their other units to move, though, if they beat us. The Heavy Panzer Battalion is the one that's in the gap. So if I can hold them off, this is going to be huge. But still, difficult. Us versus the Heavy Panzers. Really, the only way we're going to beat them is with those bombers, and I haven't called on them yet. So we're going to try to hold position, stay firm, and then the AA battery is going to be easy. Other than the fact that it's my bombers that are going to cause destruction. So maybe my units will try to target the AAA and stay out of the way of the Panzers, and then use the bombers for that, or at least that's the idea. We'll see. This is going to be a very difficult battle to win, other than that I start with the advantage. It's really all that's going for me. Now, should I try to put you guys all the way up into town? It's close range. But we could get... Oh gosh, you don't even unload. And you can't go into these woods. We could put you over here. Oh man, that was unexpected. That's the edge of the map already. I mean, this is... They're going to be emerging from right there in just a moment. So, do I retreat back here? I guess we need to. You are going to unload. And... Or do I unload you up here? That'll be easier to try to hold. You guys are going to hold that position. I don't like that you're close together, but that's going to have to do. You're going to unload about up here, and then we'll go on foot to the edge of the woods here, where you can see right down the road. You're going to unload right up here. You will unload there, since you can't drive through those woods. Unload here. And again, we have this problem. You'll be better suited over here. So let's take you this way first, because this spot's not going to work very well if you don't have line of sight. We'll have to bring them around this side. You're going to have to move up into here to be of use. And you're going to unload in town. Is there any good buildings better than others? This one, they'd be able to see out this way. Or do we want to try to hold? No. You know what? I think we need to hold in center of town and not necessarily be exposed. So you're going to unload here. Okay, 4 units. You guys are going to move fast up to here. I'll peel one off to hold the town, hold the objective. Okay, you're going to unload up. Up there. It'll be faster to drive that than walk through. Possibly, anyway. You're going to do the same. And you're going to unload up here. Tank, I think you're standing right where you are. And I want you guys to all unload up here. And we'll spread out in those woods. And here we go. $33 minutes. I don't think we're holding these guys off for 33 minutes. Ooh, here they come. Which means you are going to unload like right here. Oh no, I'm already taking losses? Come on. Didn't even mention that there was contact with anything. Okay. Move up. Remember, this is going to be scouts versus tanks. So, good luck. Bring you around to here. Now I want you on the back side of town. At the junction, there you go. These are still on the move. Okay. Out of range. Wow, your range is that short? Oh, this is ridiculous. And it's all scouts, so they can't really hold any territory. So yes, we are going to lose this battle. We are going to lose this battle bad. Very badly. Very badly. Take cover. You're almost into position. These tanks are going to be about the only thing that it can actually hold ground for us. So that's a bit worrying. Is there any cover with these trees? None. And you're not going to be able to see through that, are you? Okay. Which means we need to bring you probably up to like here. Alright, you guys here. Go ahead and cross the road here. Move up. And move up. What is your deal? I told you to unload up here and you're still nowhere near. Unload. Oops.
Вижу противника. Взвод построен и ждет приказа. Борис, ложись!
So these guys are just moving up freely and there's nothing I can do to stop them right now. And can't quite call in any bombers yet, but that's going to be their role here in a little bit. Somebody just got destroyed, and it looks like the unit that was right there. The building was destroyed that they were in. Not even sure they ever got a shot off. So there goes our left flank, just like that. They've at least gotten into position here. I might need the scout to retreat back and then cut across to those trees. These guys are all in position. You need to stop and defend yourself here. Panzers versus our little Valentine. We knocked their leader out at least. And the driver. Bounce. Ouch. Track's broken, so we're not moving anymore. Uh-oh, we just lost one of them. Somewhere. Not this one. This one. Uh-oh. Clearly not from these guys. But this is a perfect target for our artillery. You can inflict some damage there, yes? Left flank looking very poor. This one just got destroyed as well. He can't hold this terrain himself. We are so totally screwed. Yay! They destroyed each other. I will take that. Finally, a bomber. Heavy payload. Heavy payload. Which one's going to have damage penetration is higher here, and accuracy is also better. Oh, that's the machine gun accuracy, but 8 bombs versus 2 bombs. 8 bombs it is. Okay. Tanks on the right front, just coming right down the road. We'll do what we can. Yes, our defensive line is definitely crumbling. We'll see what we can at least take out. Hopefully we can inflict some damage. Looks like we're going to lose in about 7 minutes or less. Shoot, we just lost sight of him. Bomber, let's actually turn you onto a target we can see. Entire left flank now wiped out other than one scout. Holding the center, but that's it. Oh, there's the tank. A little late for that though. Tanks rolling through right there. Oh, it's just a flamethrower. Oh no. He's gonna die. Evacuating already. From now on, it's nothing but bombers that I'm calling in, and they're gonna just inflict whatever damage possible. We at least took this one down. Speed it up. We're losing here in 6 minutes, but looking for maximum damage. Okay, there's 2 more. Go for him. Go for him. So we're going to kind of focus in on this right front now and maybe that middle as soon as this one scout's knocked out. Come on, here comes the planes. This one's anti-aircraft. One of them's falling back. He didn't even get his shot off. They both evacuated without getting a shot off. They did not drop their payload. Oh, there you go. One of them did. One of them did. But did these two get destroyed? It looks like they might have.
Вижу противника. Разговорчики в строю.
Move this one just a little bit. See, what is your line of sight? Yeah, see, he can see here. So we did destroy those two. And we destroyed that one.
Второй взвод. Выдвигаемся.
Okay, nicely done, nicely done. All right, that was successful.
Вперед. И снаряжение
Reloading.
забудьте.
I think he can stay where he is now. I mean, we've got a good
Вижу противника.
line of vision into this area.
Кончили гадов.
Just over a minute till the loss is coming.
Вижу противника.
Really only going to get one more attack off here. There we go. Ready? Try to take that tiger out. Because we've lost everything. I mean, the scouts aren't holding any territory, so even where they are, doesn't amount to anything. The 3 little tanks we had, a couple artillery pieces, all destroyed. 14 seconds. Come on, come on. Where are you? Falling back, he never even got anywhere near his objective. Total defeat. I have the feet. Defeat. We got kicked with the feet in the bottom. Yeah, that was pretty bad. But, all things considered, we lost 16 units, and they lost 19. So, we at least inflicted more damage than we took. And kills. Valentine took out a couple infantry. This Valentine took out a half-track. They lost another. They lost a few infantry there. They did lose 1 Tiger. In terms of losses, though, we lost all 3 tanks. Two artillery. So that part did not go so well. But, I mean, look what we were up against. So that battle certainly could have gone a lot worse than it did. Especially once we got into it, realizing that we were not going to be able to dig in. So that unit's routed now, and that opened the front up, unfortunately.
Remember, comrade, both Minsk and Molodechno must be ours before July 2nd.
Now you say before. Earlier you told me on July 2nd. So they're messing with me here. Alright, well. That was it. That was the only attack of the day. These guys now cut off. That's good. What can you do? Get through here. Through here. All those units now caught behind enemy lines. Ooh, hello. You can move forward a lot. Let's do it. You can move forward some more. But let's maybe move the front. Yeah, see, he's considered behind the lines, apparently. I want you to move the road. Getting close. Getting very close. And maybe we take towards Asawi. Okay, I'm going to use this unit to go this way and they'll try to establish and control this area. Wow, you are not moving well. There. Ah, you can move further. Amazing what you can do when you're on the road, apparently. Okay, I do want to cut these guys off, so we're going to try to establish contact there. I fear these guys getting cut off. Well, let's try to hold the front like that. Can we? Yes, we can. Let's get this guy destroyed here. Good. Okay, they are surrendered. And then now, let's not do this, but let's get out of that little glitchy thing they still have. And you are going to move on down. Those guys should be ready to surrender here real soon as well. Now I think I need to call on the reserves. There we go. So 3 units joining the fray. And I think they all need to head towards Minsk because I'm expecting there to be at least some resistance there. Okay, so now we are experiencing the pushback that was expected here. But again, Borisov is not an objective. So it's not something I'm too worried about. I want to cut these guys off. They are in full retreat mode. These were the units that were up here. So what can you guys do? You can assume that position while you can assume this position. So let's do that. Okay. Oh, come on. You won't let me move up further. So those guys remain cut off. Wonder if I can attack this Panzer Regiment with support. Oh, we would have 2 tank battalions for that. But again, this is not the area that I need, but it's more about pressure. That's there, guys. Cut behind the lines. These 3 are all ready to surrender now. So, do we take 2 of them in? They're routed, so they can't fight us off. Good. Oh, these guys moved out of the way. And now I can't get to them. But I also need to get out of this situation. There we go. What about now? Nope. Nope. So you're going to come up. And, well, that tank really can wipe those 2 units out. So let's get you into the mix. Head on down the road. Now, what's your deal? Oh, the marsh? You can't go down the road because of the marsh? That's odd. Okay. Well, let's try to move this front a little bit. Well, why not? I still have 1 unit. Oh, it takes 2. Well, let's at least get you in the woods then. There we go. Not happy about that, but that's okay. We'll deal. Now, I've kind of lost control of this part, so I'm not sure. These guys are routed, that's trouble, but if they're lost, they're lost. Now, I could definitely move you. But do I want you to just dig in like that? There you go. I think that's the way to go at this point. Save some action points. Play defensive on that part off the front. This is still keeping a thin route of escape for these guys right now. So it's pressure on. It's looking less likely that we're going to take Borisov as they're calling those reserves. But, I mean, you can see just how many units I have versus right now 2 units in defense. And then 2 more in Borisov. These guys can both be called in to deal with this Panzer Regiment. Next turn, I'd be able to call in a 3rd. So I'd have 3 units, and I think they'd be on their own. So that's looking like a good attack situation. Next turn, this Panzer Grenadier Regiment, I will have all of these guys available. So I could probably force these 2 units to retreat, and then we can push in and kind of surround Borisov. And these guys can cut off the main road and maybe get to the railroad. I think there's still a turn away on that, but regardless, that begins the envelopment again of this area. And then this Panzer Regiment, kind of the only thing that would be standing in the way of actually then completing the encirclement once again. So we can still put pressure on Borisov, but of course, the real objective is right there, and we're just over a turn away from it now. And right here, we're just over a turn away from that. So these guys totally caught in the rear. They are now out of reach. The last of my reserves called up here, so there's nothing left for 3rd Guard Cavalry. So we will turn our attention to the other areas here in a little bit. Maybe 29th Tank will move up to this area or something. It'd be nice if they would. If they do, I would absolutely call on 29th Tank Corps if it does that for me next turn, especially if I get this cut off, and then that really establishes control. For one, I'd like to fill this gap here, because these guys could push forward if they want and cut these guys off, but it'll be easy to reestablish contact right there. That's why I'm taking that risky move. But yeah, that's looks like that's that for this turn. Ooh, you could actually retreat, couldn't you? Well, let's be smart and do that. Go and retreat to here. Thank you. Does affect the line slightly. Could you squeeze in that gap? Almost, not quite. Let's not do that. Or should we? You'll still have an action point left. No. You know what? I'm going to leave that little window for them. I don't need to get another unit isolated and destroyed needlessly. So even though we lost one battle, the unit's not destroyed. They're able to successfully retreat. And it still stopped most of their attempt at a retreat. It just, opened the gap a little bit. So for me, that's pretty minor losses. But meanwhile, we captured, 2 more of their units that were routed. And there are additional ones that are routed now. And again, the big push. So things are looking good. Things are looking very good right now. But we'll see what kind of resistance there is in Minsk here. Should be able to see it by next turn. Really, both of them. So looking forward to that. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.